Hello everyone, this is Frank Ireland here coming at you with a brand new episode of Movie Pitch. And I'm excited about this video series. The first one went over pretty well, so I'm going to keep this up. As long as you guys like it, I'll keep doing it. So the last one got like 12 likes, which is almost like rare for me on this channel anymore. And I was like, holy smokes, 12 likes, that's great. So I'm going to keep doing these. So today we're going to talk about a meta legacy sequel. So a few weeks ago, I was doing a live stream on Instagram with my best friend Luke, and we were talking about legacy sequels, and he said, I like Dexter New Blood. It was pretty good, where it brings in the old characters and reintroduces new characters. It's really cool. And he's like, Frank, what do you think is a good legacy sequel? And I'm like, I think Creed's a good legacy sequel. It brings in the old characters, and it does its own thing, and it puts a twist on it, and it's really cool, and it's modernized, and it pays respect to the new movies. Meanwhile, it's building up this brand new character, this brand new world. It's fantastic. So I started, thinking about, like, if I were to do a legacy sequel, like, Frank, what's your idea for a legacy sequel? And it's an idea I really like, but I don't think it's possible for a fan trailer. Could be possible, but I don't think so for the things I want to do. So this idea I have is a legacy sequel to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. And I forgot to turn off my ringer. Apologies. So the idea behind this is the biggest flaw of all the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies is that they always are a sequel to the original movie. And that doesn't work because in the original movie, the Leatherface character is a simpleton. He's childlike. He may kill people, but it's mostly to eat or protect his family or his house. He's not a brutal killer. He's not Jason Voorhees. He's not like that kind of guy, But all these sequels that are sequels to the original movie always make him a brute force killer. Now, the idea with this sequel to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake and why it's a legacy sequel is because 2023 would be 20 years since the remake came out. And if you guys remember in the 2000s, there was tons of these remakes where it was like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Hitchhiker, Stepdad, Don't Answer the Phone or something like that, The Fog, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. They did all of them in the 2000s, The Wicker Man even. And, all those movies were forgotten. So I think it would be really cool to make a legacy sequel to one of those remakes. And I think the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is prime real estate for this idea. Because nowadays, like, Leatherface has totally lost respect. Like, we lost the crowd, basically. In 2013, they made the 3D way late to the 3D craze, and then he went to direct-to-DVD, and now he's direct-to-Netflix. And with the problem with all these movies is that they're all sequels to the 1974 movie. Fuck that shit. Let's do a sequel to the 2003 film, because you already have the aesthetic. You have that effed up world. You have the brute force killer, and you left off on a great cliffhanger where Leatherface has lost his arm, he's on the run, and they haven't caught him yet. And he has his family with him. And you have an established star, Jessica Biel. That is a star name. And not only that, but she's in great shape. She looks excellent. And with the end of that movie, the 2003 film, she ran off with a kid. She saved a little baby from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house. So that kid would be the new cast, or at least be the lead of the new cast for this new Texas Chainsaw Massacre entry. So we have all the pieces here. And the thing that really makes this fun, so that film, the 2003 film, takes place in the summer of 1973. So if you add 20 years to that, that'd be 1993. And boy, howdy, isn't everyone loving that 90s craze nowadays, where you try to make it 90s, VHS, those needle drops. So you throw that into this Texas Chainsaw Massacre legacy sequel starring Jessica Biel and a brand new kid that's coming up, So you have all these different elements, and it would be fantastic. Bayham. So, the loose idea I have, and this is the reason why I'm like, oh, I should have done more research on this, but I was like, nah, fuck it, I'm just going to improv it. So I forgot whether the baby was a boy or a girl, but either way, it doesn't matter. The plot stays the same, so let's go with a girl. So Jessica Biel has raised this child as her own, and they have moved far away from Texas. They live in western New York, or, New York area, because the joke in the movie would be like, oh, you're from New York City? No, I'm from New York. Because that's the biggest thing about living in New York, that everyone thinks you're from New York City, but you're actually just from small town New York. So I would want that little joke in the movie just to feel seen, like, oh, that's so cool. So Jessica Biel has been raising the kid as her own, so this kid would be about, let's say, 20 years old, because it's been 20 years since the original movie, so the kid is turning 20, and they have a fiance they met in college, and the fiance lives in Texas. Now, Jessica Biel has never told the little baby what they've gone through, and the kid doesn't know that she's adopted, and she's like, damn it, I have to go back to Texas, because it's important for my daughter, and it's like set up in the first 30 minutes. Oh, yeah, you got to come down there. My fiance's family's down there. They really want to meet you. It's really great. And the fiance is great, He's got, gelled hair, fantastic, great smile, and the story checks out. Looks great, fine. So Jessica Biel's like, fuck, I got to go down to Texas. So she goes down to Texas for this, this wedding, and that's where the trouble starts. So they go down there, things are pretty normal, but then things start unraveling pretty fast. We find out that the fiance that lives in Texas is in fact part of the family of Leatherface, and they were trying to find the lost sibling that Jessica Biel stole from them 20 years ago, and they finally tracked her down because she kind of changed her name, and they found her, and that's the twist, but we don't really find that out until like probably the beginning of the third act, because the third act we have to do the table scene, the running around, the jumping out the window, and then add Leatherface on the run, because we got to make more sequels out of this. We have to leave him alive. But there are some sequences that I would like to see in this movie. The big sequence I want to see in this movie, and I don't know if it would be the opening scene. I think I'd want to do it the opening scene, because after this opening scene, we're off to the races, We've got the audience. It doesn't matter if the movie sucks, because the first 5-10 minutes of this movie fucking rocks. So we open up in Texas, right? So there's this girl who's on the run. She's in the field, and it's pitch black out, and she's like running through a field, and she trips and hides. And then I don't know if it's the 4th of July or we just have her being chased. I kind of wish it's the 4th of July, because everyone can relate to that. And she's so close to getting help, but no one can hear her because everyone's screaming and excited. So, opening scene, we see the events of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
This is the only known image of Thomas Hewitt, the man they call Leatherface. The case today still remains open.
And then we have the girl running through a field, covered in blood, and she's like crying, and you hear in the distance, and it's pitch black. It's dark out, and she's like looking around, and she hears like music, and she's running, and she sees it. There's the carnival. It's the 4th of July weekend. Happy 4th of July, everyone. We're about to start the fireworks. And everyone's like, yeah. And meanwhile, there's people chasing her. And we have like the little E.T. thing going on. So we have Leatherface out there, and he's talking to somebody. And we only see the keys on the belt, right? And he's like, go on. Go find her. Bring her here. And, Leatherface like nods and goes, goes out into the darkness. And then the fireworks start going off, and it lights up the field, and she starts running because she could see where she's going, because it's pitch black and it's hard to run through this terrain. So she's running, and it goes dark, dark, and as it's doing that, she, let's say that she's hurt. Maybe she steps into a bear trap or some shit. And in the distance, you see Leatherface, and every time the fireworks go off, he gets closer, and she's like, shit, shit. And she's almost there. She's probably like a couple feet away, and the fireworks go off, and it lights up the scene. Turns it on, she screams, fireworks, and then title.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
And it's so cool, and that's when the plot starts. But I think after that opening sequence of the darkness and being lit, and then like it'd be so cool, because I think I really love that idea, how it's pitch black and you're running and then you're hiding and then you're running and hiding because you're trying to see where you're going, because it's like a swamp or something. I don't know. That's why I want to pitch something else, like, this is the idea. What do we do? What do we got? I think she's like either in a bear trap and she has to get out of it, and she's running across this field. It's Texas, and it's amazing. So there's that one sequence. Another sequence would be closer towards the second act, probably, where they find the police, and the police are like, oh my god, you guys murdered all these people. And they're like, no, we didn't murder all these people, you're crazy bitch, we're gonna put you in a car. So they arrest the girl, they put her in the backseat of the cop car, right? And then the cop car's driving, and someone's standing in the road. He's like, what the hell is this? And he's like, you fucker, get out of the car, get out of the road. And then kills the cop, right? And the girls are stuck in the back seat, like, Jessica Biel and the daughter, like, oh my god, we gotta get out of here, And, Leatherface looks in, and that's my little homage to Jurassic Park, where he looks in, and then he, jumps on the top of the roof and goes, like they're stuck in that backseat. And then somehow, I don't know how, they finally, break that little metal barrier, break the plastic between there, and they get in the car, and they start driving, and, somehow he gets back on top of the car. I don't know. We'll figure this out. We'll figure it out. But anyway, they're driving, and he gets flown off into the distance. It's great. And then another idea is to have, like, different attachments to his arm, like a chainsaw arm. We have a harpoon arm, where, like, he goes, shoots, like, through someone's shoulder, and then, like, slowly reels them in. Because he has like a little thing that goes like a little motor on his arm. It'd be so great. And then like maybe like a blade of some sort, or maybe just a hammer where he just like swings it, because he's got one arm, so he could put on like any fake attachment to it, right? So then for the final sequence, because in the beginning of the movie, right, we had like they're doing the rehearsal dinner and whatnot, so the end of the movie is at the rehearsal wedding, right? So, like, all the guests are sitting at the table, whoever's still alive, whoever's dead or whatever, and they're all sitting there, and they're like, we gotta wait for the uncle here, we gotta wait for the uncle, and they're like, all pounding the table, like, we gotta wait for the family, and Jessica Biel and the daughter are waiting, they're like, oh, God. So, and then not only that, but, like, the fiancé is, like, taunting her. Probably Jack Quaid. Why not hire Jack Quaid? Jack Quaid's like, yeah, we've been looking for you. We found you. It's great. And the fiance's like, fuck you. And then the uncle arrives, and then we see the keys right from the beginning of the movie, and it's fucking Matthew McConaughey, right? And for those who don't know, Matthew McConaughey was in Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 4. It'll just be a reference. I don't think he'll be playing the same character, but I definitely want him in this movie as like an homage reference to that character, and it's going to be so fucking good. And if we can, I don't know if we can or not, but if we can get like Viggo Mortensen to play a similar character as well, holy shit, like, let's do it. Like, that's what I would want to do. I'd want to reference like the entire series, like, oh my god. It'd be so great. And I think like Jessica Biel should be like double chainsawing it like Dennis Hopper in Part 2. That'd be so cool. But I think that'd be so cool for the final dinner, though. We have like Matthew McConaughey saying, all right, we've been waiting for this moment. We've been smart enough, I found you guys. It's great. And then throughout the movie, of course, we're going to have some funny needle drops, like, if you want to call me baby, just go ahead, or some shit like that. It'd be so great. Or like, I said, hey, what's going on? I hope you enjoyed this episode. I think that's a good place to wrap it up, you know, because I could just keep going on and on, like, oh, how about this, how about that? But the basic idea is a legacy sequel to a remake that's now 20 years old, and then really have nostalgia overload, to have it take place in the 90s, so you could riff off that with amazing needle drops, because everyone, you know, has done the 80s. Let's try to do some 90s nostalgia. Let's bring up Jurassic Park. Let's bring up Last Action Hero. Let's have them cut through that movie screen, you know. That'd be really cool. Like something like, make it like a reference to like The Blob. Remember The Blob in the 80s and the 50s movie, of course, but have that theater scene where like Leatherface goes through that screen. That'd be so fucking cool. And just like he's standing there menacingly and that freaking like screen's playing on him. And of course we have to leave it open for more movies, so Leatherface gets away and we have Jessica Biel like arming up at the end like, let's get the son of a bitch. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys think. Please like the video as well. But yeah, definitely tell me if you liked the video, and tell me if you have any other casting ideas, any other sequences that would go into this movie, any like title sequence or something that would go with this movie, or like needle drops that would be perfect, because right now this is just an idea. Like, if I were to do a legacy sequel, this is what I would do. So, yeah, this is my idea. And it's something I wish I could do a fan trailer of, but I don't know if I could, you know? Maybe I could, but I don't know. It would seem like a lot of work, or just be like a concept, like a pitch, like it's all music and just clips, you know, like give a vibe out, but I don't want to do that. I'd rather just, you know, post a video and talk about the ideas. So anyway, let me know if I should do more of these, because I think this is really fun. It gets my ideas out there, and they're not forgotten, because there's a lot of times where I'll tweet a movie idea and it's forgotten. And it's like, didn't I have an idea once or something? I don't know. But yeah, with this video series, it'll help me keep track of my ideas, and if I want to go back and listen to them, or maybe make a sequel to that idea, or add ideas to that, this is the great avenue for that. So thank you guys for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Have a good day, everybody.
Okay, guys, I figured it out. So in the video, I mentioned that, okay, the girls somehow get from the back seat to the front seat. So I figured out the problem. Okay, so the way to fix this is we have Jack Quaid come in. So Jack Quaid is fiance, right? Fiance goes, hey, over here, leave my fiance alone. And the girls are like, yay, we're saved. But meanwhile, we don't know this yet, but Jack Quaid is related to Leatherface. So Leatherface is looking at him like, what the fuck are you doing, man? I'm trying to kill these girls, or, you know, try to capture them, and you're distracting me? What are you doing? So then Jack Quaid's like throwing rocks, he's being goofy, he's saying silly shit, and then he finally says something that really ticks off Leatherface. Leatherface like, I gotta go teach my relative a lesson. But we don't know this yet. We just think he's gonna kill the fiance. So we're like, oh no. So he goes over there to Jack Quaid, and Jack Quaid's like, oh shit. And then we think Jack Quaid's dead, because, you know, Leatherface chases him and attacks him, and it looks like Jack Quaid gets hurt. Meanwhile, during this time, the girls use that distraction to get from the back seat to the front seat, and that's how they run over Leatherface and all that. So we're meant to think that Jack Quaid is dead, so when later on, at the dinner table, at the rehearsal dinner, when Jack Quaid comes out to explain the situation, we're like, oh shit, he is in on this from the whole time. So that's my last minute addition to fix the issue about the girls getting from the back seat to the front seat. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. See you guys next time.
Because I can't bear to think of this thing going out on the airwaves, turning the chainsaw that we all know and love into a steak knife.